What is Astrology? By Angelo Di Stefano. Narrated by Miriam Di Stefano. When humanity was in its infant stages of consciousness, I'm sure they gazed up at the sun, sky, and heavens, and knew deep within their souls that we are intimately connected to the heavens and the universe. Ever since the first conscious thought, life has been ever unfolding, and we as a race would someday become as the heavens, made whole. The word astrology is derived from two Greek words, astra, or star, and logos, or logic. It is called the wisdom of the heavens. It was preserved for humanity by the prophets, seers, and other keepers of the light of truth throughout the ages. Dating back thousands of years and existing in practically every country that exhibited any form of human evolution. This makes astrology one of the most studied and evolved knowledges in the history of all the earth. Astrology is a vast, ancient philosophy that reveals knowledge of nature and her effects upon human evolution. The uses of this universal knowledge are so vast, it could not even be numbered. Being one of the most universal forms of knowledge ever known to humanity, its value and validity is invaluable. In fact, its truths and uses are so powerful, it has been practically kept from the masses throughout the ages. It is only now that some individuals possess the spiritual insight, comprehension, and compassion as a race to use it properly. In the beginning, only kings and rich businessmen were counseled by astrologers. However, if one wrong forecast resulted, it meant a quick and sudden death for the astrologer. As time went on, humane astrologers and philosophers developed a grander scheme for their liberating knowledge. They would share it with the common people who possessed good hearts and good intentions. These astrologers, in turn, would pass on the knowledge to anyone who wished to know truth and harmony. In turn, the evolutionary process of this ancient art became a common tool for anyone wishing to abide within the laws of nature and be a co-creator with the universal logos. When ancient Greece reached her height, it was because of astrologers like Aristotle, Plato, and Ptolemy, who used this ancient form of knowledge to enhance and elevate every form of thought within their country. They incorporated it in their writings, medicine, art, agriculture, and government. They were some of the greatest astrologers because their main focus in life was the relentless search for truth. As astrology became introduced to the European nations, it took on a whole different form and meaning. It was then that astrology started to become a science rather than a philosophy. Any subject this large could naturally take many years to comprehend. However, as modern-day astrologers, we are blessed with tools that ancient astrologers could not even dream about. What might take 10 years to comprehend in the past could be learned in a few short months. Therefore, the time is now for the people of the world to harness this enlightening and liberating knowledge and use it to elevate the consciousness of humanity. As a modern-day astrologer, I must agree that astrology of old is more truthful concerning some matters, but the potential of modern-day astrology has the technology to verify the countless truths that are contained within the subject. The ancient Greeks displayed the validity of astrology throughout all of their healing arts. They were famous for discovering natural ways of healing each individual and recognized the importance of being in tune with nature. They only practiced medicine at specific times of the day and often spent time probing the mental, emotional disturbances that causes the illness in the first place. Information gained through the cycles of nature could enhance any prescribed treatment. Any psychologist possessing knowledge of astrology could cut right to the heart of any emotional or mental problems and eliminate the disturbance. Astrology is no doubt one of the universal fountains of knowledge because it changes our whole perspective and perception about life. It is only through knowledge and knowing do we become wise and free. Being a true study of natural phenomena, its vast and accurate viewpoints helps us to express a natural and coexisting life in nature. Nature and natural are one and the same word. On a personal and even global level, the benefits and uses for this ancient knowledge are truly universal. It can easily elevate the consciousness of every person on this planet. By understanding the true nature of others and ourselves through astrology and symbolism, we can then form lasting relationships and exhibit natural respect for each other. Since the first Bedouin shepherds started noticing the patterns of the stars in the heavens, the progression of astrology began. The art of this subject is only obtained through non-prejudiced observation. The true student of astrology uses this knowledge to elevate all of humanity. The knowledge of symbolism bestows responsibility to the student. When used properly, this tool provides enormous insight into the past, present, and future. Only the student who tempers this knowledge with love, humility, and understanding will come to know the truest principles of this subject. Example: when parents are aware of these natural cycles and vibrations, they can better understand their children and appreciate the individualism of each child. As the Bible states, there is a time. This subject pronounces the different cycles of human experiences and defines that time in harmony with the cycles of nature. Astrology defines actions of celestial bodies upon animate and inanimate objects that influence human reactions. The antiquity of astrology has placed it among the earliest records of human learning. You'll be delighted to find true stories of life unfolding and how every being corresponds to positions and relations of heavenly bodies at the time of birth. Astrology is a metaphysical science indicating human reactions to planetary vibrations within our solar system. We collect thoughts in our subconscious while asleep or when we meditate. We express and materialize those mental impressions when conscious or awake. Here again, a double nature energy exists. Astrology teaches spiritual potentials and natural soul compatibility. It is a philosophy of nature expressed by actions and reactions. Like all theologies and isms, it is mainly ruled by the sign Aquarius, which is the New Age sign. Astrology exposes changing circumstances in life and the true nature of those circumstances. It prepares one to manipulate and transform so-called adverse conditions before they appear, manifesting better conditions in advance. Through mental awareness of symbolic knowledge, we accumulate spiritual consciousness that elevates the soul. These laws provide opportunities to rise above common material illusions of life. Thus, we spiritually interpret natural human reactions and desires. We do not change universal law or hold nature in obedience and at our beck and call. However, by a thorough study of astrology, we can improve manifested response to universal law by improving conscious thinking, speech, habits, and actions. Astrology can show us when certain planetary influences are present and what to expect. Our spiritual evolution determines to what extent these influences will manifest. Astrology is one of the most important studies we can undertake. Its precepts should be investigated and taught in every school of life. The philosophies of astrology and all metaphysical knowledge should be restored to its original level of truth and beauty, so the world may gain a true perspective of divine plan. As expressed throughout the wisdom of the ages and recorded by symbolism and numbers, astrology and numerology are two of the most purest presentations of spiritual truth in the world today. This ancient philosophy and science deals with governing vibrations and motivating forces. These forces play through and upon the whole field of space, within our galaxy, and all manifestations within that field. When this knowledge is grasped, and all sources of these influential energies are comprehended, humanity will experience a clear meaning for their creation. When relationships between planetary vibrations, systematic cycles, and cosmic entities are understood, we shall start to live scientifically and progressively. We'll then experience the age of man, or Aquarius, that the Master Jesus spoke of. In the age of man, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The objective of this metaphysical textbook is to simply present the subject of astrology in a manner that reveals its valuable truths. Our goal is to share knowledge contained within this vast, symbolic philosophy, so that the many truths can take a useful, prominent, and active part in assisting those participating in the New Age movement, thus assuring greater advancements towards individual excellence. This knowledge will surely aid humanity in the future by developing, expanding, and uplifting human consciousness, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically.